been a while since I've chatted on here. I just came back from a 6-day vacation in Puerto Rico, and I have to say I've been I don't know, there's something about traveling to like lots of different places and exploring, the world and whatnot. There's so much out there to see, right? But then I also think that the more you frequent one place, you get to dive and see more and more of it. And there's something to that I truly enjoy. One, you get to kind of like just living day to day, you get to experience things over and over again and then have different experiences in that same location, right? Or area, activity, whatnot. And I kind of like that. I like the comfortability of that, and then also the like kind of surprise to it as to like, is it going to be the same as last time? And then I feel like it never really is always the same as last time. There's going to be different weather, there's different people, circumstances in life, lots of contributing factors to make the same destination or the same, I guess, location like on a map a different experience. So the time of year that you go, anyway, I could go on and on and on. So yes, so I do find it exciting to go back to the same place. I also, while I was there, one of my Lyft drivers said that living in Puerto Rico, he feels like he lives on like a whole continent in one island. Also, I think that people do assume or think that, because it's an island that there's beach and, a few cities here and there and that's it. And really it's a huge landscape with so many types of terrain and what do you call it? Lifestyles and landscapes and atmospheres there. You've got the mountains, you've got the beach, you've got kind of like deserty areas or drier, places, and then more lush and tropical. You've got the rainforest, you've got rivers, you've got waterfalls, you have the city, you have farm, you have like suburban, you've got, just so many different capacities in one space. So that's why I'm excited to just kind of focus on and venture to the same place over and over again and see what happens. And even in 6 days, we went to 2 areas and it was just such a great experience. We went to Luquillo. To me, my experience of it was that it's a smaller beach town, and we stayed a block away from the beach. And also did the last 2 days of our stay in Condado or Centro. Like, it kind of varied. I wasn't really sure. I know that there are different like cities on the map. I'm not sure like area wise. Again, like I'm just visiting, so I don't really know so much about the actual like location, maybe counties, townships, and how that breaks down. But that's the gist of where we were. Did lots of walking, went to the beach every day, did some running, which I don't really do. I'm a walker and I enjoy lifting, and that's about it. But I actually ran because I was like, if I'm gonna eat all this food and I don't have a gym, because I used Airbnb for both of my stays and opted out of a hotel, I did not have a gym like I usually do when I go on vacations. So that was different for me. I did bring resistance bands, like a mini band, and then also resistance bands for some arm work, and then the mini band for leg exercises. And then, so what else? So one of the important things I wanted to touch on today that I feel is very important and just want to share, I will provide links in this video as well for the 2 establishments that I found, or 2 Airbnb locations. It literally took me days and like a few days and then hours in each of those days to find the Airbnbs that I did. 1, of course, I was looking for certain cities or areas. 2, I wanted to rent an Airbnb from Puerto Ricans, locals. There are so many, especially Verbo. I'm pretty sure that they are all either Americans that have come in, and I would personally say like gringos based off of their names. They're like, it's Emily, Anna, Becky, whoever, or Eric, and you can definitely tell by like the last name. Some of them are even international. They're German, Australian, whatever, but they were not Puerto Rican. And I think that if they are, they do make sure that they say it in their description, or a lot of the descriptions had no, like for the host, had nothing there. And to me, that speaks volumes in itself, because if you're Puerto Rican and you live there, you're Puerto Rican period, anywhere in the world, you are loud and proud and you say it somewhere. So the fact that that's like a blank with just their name, no picture, nothing, screams to me that no, you are just taking up real estate there and capitalizing on maybe tax incentives, and that you're bringing your money there, but then you're charging an arm and a leg, or not even. Actually, some of them are cheaper. Some of them are very, very expensive. So you're renovating and taking up property from locals to make it a business for yourself, because it is very touristy. And that's what I have a problem with, because it is outpricing locals from living in their own land. And you can really tell the disparity even just in finding an establishment or a place to rent for your stay. There are some that are like decent, nice, and they're a little bit more money, but they're from the locals. There are some that are cheaper, renovated, and they're less than what the locals are charging. But yeah, they don't necessarily, but they also have like 10 Airbnbs or a whole building that they've converted to where they can undercut the locals. So there's just a lot to pay attention to there. If you understand, like even throughout the United States, we've witnessed as brown people re-gentrifying of neighborhoods and pushing Black people out, or pushing people out so that they can no longer afford to live in their neighborhoods and their homes. Well, that essentially, if you care about that in your city, in the United States, and your people and your family, that is what's happening there. And while, yes, like you can go on your vacation and do you however you please, it is just something to pay attention to. And if you care, I think it's important. I thought it was important myself to really find and rent an Airbnb through locals, to serve them first if I could, versus going even to a hotel or a large chain, or an investor who's come in and just bought up land and pushed people out of their homes. So I will post the links of the places that I stayed in. They were both nice, decent. I won't say that I'm middle class, probably this point in my life, like nearing lower middle class. No, I would say I'm like middle class. And I would say that they were very like comfortable, middle of the road, nothing extravagant, nothing luxurious, but they were a comfortable home with all of the features and amenities that were needed. The one in Condado had a pool. We never had time to access it, but a large pool. That's nice if you don't want to be out in the sun, for the day at the beach. That's a great option with some shaded areas, and then also just chlorine if you're tired of the beach water. I would never be tired of that. So yeah, maybe that's why I didn't make it to the pool, and I just like being outside. But definitely like city living, very cute, 1-bedroom. But yeah, it had like everything that you need amenity wise in the kitchen to cook a meal, or things close by to go out and explore and eat and enjoy the city. The one in Luquillo, like I said, it was a block away from the beach. There were so many restaurants that you could think of all around. I like that there were a few chains that I've noticed that they were like also in Condado and in Luquillo, but also mom and pop shops that have been around forever that you can support there. Luquillo is also very close to Yunque, so if you want to do a tour and it's your first time doing that, that's what we did for our first time. I've heard if you've never been there before, it is not wise to just rent a car and go and take the chance of getting lost in there. It is pretty popular, of course, of a activity and excursion nowadays, so there are going to be people around, but it is big enough. It's a big rainforest that you could get lost, especially if you're inclined to like just walk around and explore instead of following the path where everybody else is going. I do recommend booking a tour. We booked through Caribbean something. They were very good. Our tour guide was amazing. I had my daughter with me, and he would just take her with him, you know, on the slides, and he helped her jump off of a cliff. She's very adventurous. I call her my parkour princess. But loved it. And yeah, so just wanted to post that. I hope to go back soon again and explore other parts of the island. I've heard of some other rainforest areas with other waterfalls that aren't as heavily, you know, people are not, it's not as popular and as full as El Yunque. Also, there are restaurants I didn't get to go to. We did go to Mall of San Juan for Lala, Bad Bunny's restaurant. Everything was so good. The flavor pairings, the options. I don't think you can probably order anything on the menu and be dissatisfied. It was all very delicious, and the service and just the thoughtfulness of from the decor, the ambiance, the colors, the servers, the way they take care of you from the moment you walk in the door to the moment you leave is just impeccable. I felt like while I was there, like he might be around a corner somewhere. Like just the way that they treat you is like, I felt like celebrity status, the way that they treat you when you're there. So yeah, and to know that that was on a random evening, I think a Thursday night we went. Yeah, so it was a really good experience. Be prepared to gain a little bit of weight. Be prepared to drink a lot of water. It's just hot. I will say though, I live in St. Louis, Missouri, and when we got back here, it was more hot and humid and like nasty outside than it was in Puerto Rico. You have the water, you have the ocean breeze, and it's just gorgeous there. I love it. But yeah, I think that's all I got. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know if you've been to Puerto Rico and where you stay, or maybe other countries, and if you realize the same thing is going on elsewhere and how you are handling it. Yeah, so I'm gonna drop those links in if you want to explore Luquillo, the beach town. It's gorgeous. It's about 30 minutes away from San Juan Airport or Condado. Of course, that's pretty close by to the airport. You can Uber, Lyft there. You can also to Luquillo and then just walk around. We actually didn't have to rent a car, which I've heard like, yes, you should. But for this trip to go to those two places, it wasn't necessary. It did make things a little bit easier, but you don't have to. So yeah, and also with making a podcast, or you know, speaking to you all in my audience, they say don't niche down. I'm giving you it all. I enjoy traveling. I'm here. I just set up everything for my class that starts tomorrow. So I'm a gym girly. Also just trying to like help people, help women to lift weights, stay healthy, and also want to take you on the journey as part of my life experience as a busy mom. As you can see, even my sports bra today is inside out. Busy AF, but I also make time to have fun and enjoying the journey of life because we only got one shot. So make sure you like and subscribe, and yeah, leave a comment. Let me know your thoughts. Bye.